Did y'all see that?
We just about are, yeah.
Let's go.
Yep.
Skylar asked if I wanted to be on it, but then he told me that I was too high rank on my main role to even be eligible. So
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, no, like I when we were looking at trying to add like a couple more players, I said, yeah, we could add Unfeatured. Definitely too high for us though. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't. Not a real thing that can happen unless. Hey, we have the staff on our side.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. We fucking don't. I hate Headrimmer. I want to beat that bald motherfucker. I hate that motherfucker. I had to jump through 19 fucking hoops. I want to beat that fucking CGL. Is harder to get into than Fort fucking Knox. Like straight up.
Holy shit.
Like actually, like I actually had to go through the fucking ringer. Dude, oh my god, that shit pissed me off so much.
I love the combination of the rant and the filter.
Yeah.
Man, I'm happy I started recording already.
Yeah, that was a good intro. That was a good
happy late birthday to Headrammer, by the way.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw your tweet.
30.
I saw your tweet. Let me pull it up. It was why did you have that image?
I made that image.
Why did you? Why? Where? When?
Wait, hold
For
on,
what purpose?
The head Jesus photo.
That's a
that's a classic.
That's a good photo.
That's a classic. That's a banger.
Here, let me find it so I can fucking show it.
Yeah, I've got it right here. If you haven't found it yet,
I'm getting there.
Now. It's on my
Actually,
maybe I'll let you find it.
I was gonna say, let's find that image anyway because I need a good image for Headrunner Player of the Week, and that should be it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, you could just find the one with him sitting in front of the giant fucking pistachio.
That is true.
Nah, see, but the Jesus one goes crazy.
It's in general. I dropped it.
There,
oh, my camera's starting to get blurry.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
I hate my camera.
Hunter?
Yeah, this photo.
It's a good photo. That's a good photo.
It's a great photo.
So I think the only reason I made this photo is because someone said Headrammer started looking like Jesus. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And Headrammer accidentally gave me the permissions to add whatever emotes and stickers I want to that server, so I can do the dumbest.
Oh, okay.
I can do the dumbest of shit.
Is it okay if I real quick go into OBS and start a virtual camera just so I can fix my camera?
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Or else it'll be swag, awesome. It'll be blurry for the rest of the hour, or however long this goes.
No,
I promise.
You're fine.
All right,
It's
cool.
gonna be a 6-hour
while you do that,
we're gonna relax.
Yeah, while you do that, I mean, I'm not gonna pause the recording. When do I? Hippy just said
we're in way too far deep.
Here's the thing: the only editing I will do with this podcast is sound. I won't cut stuff unless I absolutely have to.
That's fair.
If someone fucks up and says something they shouldn't, or that's not supposed to be said, I will go back and cut it.
All right. With that being said, somebody pay me money. I will make Dex edit. I have my ways.
Could just make a lot of work for Dex. Wouldn't be hard.
This VTuber model got toggles. Let's put it that way, buddy. You're gonna do a lot of editing.
Wait, in what way? Editing?
I don't think you want to know.
Listen. All I'm saying is, I know. I'm so tired. Yeah. I don't know where my threat's going. I don't want to actually threaten. I'm scared.
No, you can threaten. You can threaten. Just.
No, but my brain immediately was like, I know where you sleep, and like I was like, that's just not a good threat because it's a lie. Like I can come up with so much better.
Instead of saying in your walls, I'm in your ceiling. I feel like that's a little bit more of a threat.
I mean, it would make more sense for me to be in your computer now.
I guess.
I want y'all to know, I had to do my first ever IRL. Well, not first ever, but first IRL cast in like 5+ years. The other day, and that shit sucks. I don't know how the fuck y'all do that. That shit.
Like a LAN?
No, it was for this org, but they they were like, yeah, listen, if you want to be here and you want to get paid because it's like a paying thing, then we can't have you be a VTuber. And I was like, well, shit, I'm kind of violently desperate for money, so I guess I have to.
Guess you have to. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't like. It makes sense, but I don't understand like why people are so concerned about having a VTuber. It'd be like on their stream or associated with them.
Thing is, like OWCS teams have acknowledged me and it's fine. Like, yeah, I couldn't tell you either. I couldn't tell you either. I've gotten offers like that before where again I just decline it, but literally because I'm gonna just keep it a buck. My finances are fucked right now, but like it's just so fucked that I could not say no. So I was just like, oh well.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Very
fair, very fair.
Just going back to it, like VTubers are huge, at least in internet culture at the moment. Like I don't understand why.
I even have a casting outfit. Like, look at this shit. I paid money for it.
Oh shit!
I got a little hat and everything.
Oh damn,
that's new.
Listen.
It's
the first time I've seen it in a while. Let me rephrase that.
I normally use it only for like playoffs and stuff.
Ah,
because it's like a fancier outfit. You get the tie and stuff.
Yeah,
it does look nice.
It's a good outfit. It is a nice outfit. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you change the colors of the accent, like the yellows?
No. I mean, if I went to the person who made the model, they could absolutely, but I'm not paying more money for that shit.
Quite understandable.
I knew anything about art, I could do it. But hey, look, Unfeatured's back. Now we can talk about someone who.
I'm
here.
Yes.
How about almost 7 minutes into this podcast, we actually intro it here. So everyone, welcome back to For the Love of Prod, y'all. We have hit 10 episodes, which, I mean, technically it's 12, but I was talking with Hunter about this. Like, there was and Meg, I think you were there as well. I forget if this was last week or 2 weeks ago. There was a real possibility when we started this that I thought like, okay, we're gonna do 5, 6. Someone's not gonna be able to do it 1 week, and then I'll just kind of make the excuse of like, hey, we won't do it this week. We'll pick back up next week, and then we'll never do it again.
Yeah.
But
I want to point out, is the Headrummer Jesus going to stay up the whole time? We can take a
you haven't
he's walking.
What's wrong with Headrummer Jesus?
Nothing. I was asking. I was like, what?
I don't know if I want to do an hour's worth of podcast with Headrummer Jesus watching over me. I'll be honest.
I mean, what's worse, Headrummer Jesus or Headrummer with the world's largest pistachio behind him?
Honestly, Headrummer Jesus. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably Headrummer Jesus. Yeah.
Probably Headrummer Jesus. Yeah.
As someone with no affiliation with that faith, probably him. Probably that.
I was gonna say, like, hang that up. People won't commit crimes. You know what I mean? They'd be like reminded of religion.
True.
Again, happy late birthday to Headrammer. Happy 30th, man.
Hey.
Woo.
Happy birthday when the episode started with me saying fuck you and everything you stand for.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like I really thought somewhere around the 5, 6, and even 7 mark, there'd be a week where like one person couldn't make it, and it was just like, okay, well, we'll take off, and we just weren't going to come back to it. But hey, Hunter, Mega, thank you so much for being flexible with your time and always being able to come here on Monday and do this for an hour. And hey, thank you to our guest Unfeatured this week for joining us. I will say, I did tell him already that he wasn't the first nor the second person I reached out to.
So fucked up.
Hey.
So fucked up.
Hey.
It's okay. We're here. We're here. It's already happening.
I told you one person, I'm not going to say who it was, who I tried to reach out to, but they're not feeling good and I didn't want to pressure them. They also were busy tonight. The other person just didn't respond, which I'm fine with. Hey, it happens. People get busy. But I mean, 10 episodes, Unfeatured. I think this is a fun episode because I've said it multiple times before. This entire podcast kind of spawned off a thing that you did with Laggy all the years back.
Yeah. So back in, I remember the exact like month-ish. I think it was like February of 2023. And the reason why I remember this is because I was working at ShopRite, and I only worked at ShopRite from like January to like, end of March. So I think February was when it happened. But me and Laggy Son, this is when Frank was like pivoting towards like Laggy wanting to do like what was his name? I can't remember his name. Who was the big prod guy at Trank for a while before Laggy took it over? It wasn't Aura.
Oh, I feel bad for not knowing now.
Me too. Exactly.
I don't, because I wasn't involved with Trank.
I feel so bad.
Time to go to the Trank server and read
names. Yeah, literally, that's where I'm going right now.
Exactly where I'm going through too.
Certainly,
but yeah, I think his name started with a B. Twitch team. Do
we even still have access to those channels?
Yeah, they're still there. No one that server's still alive.
From B. It was before.
I can't find it. Wow.
Wait, here. I can actually from Unfeatured. That's not Unfazed. I can find it. But basically, I started in Trank. Well, I started to actually work in what's it? Booth. Booth was the big guy.
I remember Booth.
So I started in Peaches with Dex, and then Trank, and in Trank I met Laggy Sun, and then after Booth stepped down as like the big prod head at Trank, Laggy wanted to Laggy came on, stepped up, and wanted to adjust and move away from broadcast GG scoreboard controlling to Google Sheets, because this was after we had started doing Google Sheet stuff. It was like, I want to do my own Google Sheet stuff, so let's do that. And he redesigned everything. It was a pain in the ass to get it like confirmed, because inside Trank stuff kind of crazy. And yeah, so we were like, why don't we do a podcast, or a podcast specifically on production, and call it the Prodcast. We did one episode with Dex as our guest, and then we had everything set up. It was great. It was awesome. It was a good episode. We did it live on Twitch, and then we were gonna upload it to YouTube and Spotify. We did that. I think we uploaded it to Spotify. It's probably somewhere. The VOD is probably somewhere.
Yeah.
Not on my PCs though. And then the next week, either me or Laggy was busy, and we just did not have the time to do it again. So the thing that you were afraid of happened exactly to us.
Yeah, and like that was my fear. Like I already said, I didn't want to do it once. Say like, okay, we got everything set up. Let's roll with this. Something happens, can't do it. But I remember like it's the exact same thing I told you when you came in here. We only want to do this for an hour. Didn't we almost go 2 hours?
There's one where we went for a hot minute.
Our first test when it was just us three, we went an hour and a half, and I said right there, we're never doing that again. Once we get to an hour, I'm going to start to try to wrap it up. Once we hit an hour 15, that's like okay, wrap it up fast. And if we hit an hour and a half, I've told them in the past, like, if we hit an hour and a half, we're going 30 extra minutes. We're going to cut it into 2 episodes and just do that.
The extravagant.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was gonna say, wasn't it literally like last week was where we went super long?
No. It was our first test episode.
Well, there's a really good way.
Well, we went that long there, and we went long. I thought we went long, or maybe it was the Will episode I was thinking of. I don't remember.
Will was, I think, is the longest episode.
I will say there's a really easy way to check, because remember, guys, you can watch us at For the Love of Prod on YouTube and Spotify. We have our own YouTube. Let's go. Everything's there.
Thank you for the plug, Hunter.
and the test episode is the longest, indeed. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of like, I understand we should probably speak to our guest, but like, speaking of like plug stuff, like, you know what you need to do, Dex? You need to start doing like the clickbait TikTok, or not like TikToks, but like you can even do YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
Where you take like a minute of something just out of context, you throw that up, and you're like, hey, watch the full episode.
No, trust me. Like, ever since I made our own YouTube channel for the podcast, I like. One, not getting the same number of views when it was on my channel. Like the Echo episode almost got 100 views. No idea why. I think on the For the Love of Prod YouTube channel, I think it only has like 3.
I don't want to be that person, but it has 1.
Yeah. So like I've started to go back through here recently and just start adding tags to it all, because I wasn't tagging it before, so I have no idea how it was being picked up in any algorithm.
The short note is it wasn't. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No shot on our boy Joker, but how does he have the most views? What is happening here?
When he
retweeted it,
Yes.
when he retweeted it, like he had like there are definitely people who like Joker enough to go listen to him talk.
Yeah,
Make
that's fair.
Like
Joker's a very
his episode is also the episode with the most views. I mean, my bad, not the most views, the most comments, and it's just one person basically. No, it's not one person. It's not them spamming. It's one person talking about stuff in the episode as it's going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a future guest right there. We won't say his name, but it's an inevitability.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
But like Mega said, why don't we actually get to talking about you here on Featured? I mean, you already touched on it a little bit when we were talking about the podcast and how that got started. But how did you get into doing esports and esports production in general?
So starting in like 2020, I started playing Overwatch more, like just doing ranked. And then in like 2021, I was like, you know what? I'll start scrimming. I'll start like trying out for teams and stuff. Gold, by the way. Not good at the game yet. Still not good at the game.
You're significantly better than all of us.
I'm still not good at the game. I lost games yesterday. I don't want to talk about what happened yesterday. But what's it called? Found a team with Kingswan Swag. They call me M. A bunch of other people that some people might know, because M is in Trank. Not in Trank, sorry. M is in BPL and Kitsune League now. Keegs was in Trank / SPCS for a while. A lot of these people are also still in like SPCS. And so joined a tournament called the Peachies, where I played, won. It was like a gold plat tournament, played and won in that. And then Hippy, who was running the tournament, because he was like the manager for like the Peachies org, even though it was just one team and it was a gold team, he was like, hey, I need staff to help with like tournament stuff. And I was like, you know what, I'll help out. Why not? Some other people on the team were already helping out, so I was like, sure, why not? Long story short, no one else on the team helped out. I was the only person that helped out. We did Peachies, did season 2, did season 3. I think we did season 4. I can't remember. I tuned out Peachies after season 2. I'm gonna be honest. But we needed more prod people, and me and Hippy were both like, hey, we're free. We'll just learn it. And so that's kind of the start. That's the start to how I got into it. And ever since then, just been doing good. Been grinding.
Yeah. And I mean, this isn't the first time we've had someone on here where the next question that you'll answer here is like, what keeps you coming back? Where this is kind of like a profession for you now. This is a job for you at this point now, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like
pretty much.
We have Hippy, we had Will English on here. Like these are their jobs. These are their full-time things here. But like other than that, what kind of kept you coming back in the early parts, and especially now, like what keeps you coming back to do like esports production?
So the thing that keeps having me come back is mainly that I like making stuff. I like working on stuff and making stuff. And I never really had like a good creative outlet growing up, and so it was like, I didn't really draw, I didn't make music. Making videos was cool and fun, but it wasn't something I was like super wanting to lean into. And then starting with broadcast, I was like, wait, this is like super fun. I get to sit down, I get to observe, I get to like be around these like cool people. I get to like, and like I also really wanted to get better at the game, so observing helped me with learning the game more, and seeing all these different like kind of perspectives to how people play the game. And so eventually what kept me going was just like, it was a hobby that like I had on the side that I really enjoyed. And it was very stressful though at the beginning, because we didn't have things like SRT feeds back when I started. So it was like, oh, your crappy computer that has an Intel CPU that's like an old Intel CPU. New ones are pretty good. I like Intel a lot now, but Intel CPU, terrible graphics card, good luck. good luck, especially because I did a show where I had to run broadcast GG package, replays, and observe at the same time, and my machine didn't explode, and I don't know how. But definitely because a lot of fun kept me going, and then wanted to improve at the game, and also it was just like a really big creative outlet of mine. That's kind of like what kept me going and staying in broadcasting, as well as something being like me being so knowledgeable and like getting better at broadcasting has also pushed me a lot. And like now I feel in like a comfortable state where like I feel good at what I do.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen you grow here, especially now that you're working with you're working with OBS Sojourn, right?
Yes, but that's not really specifically broadcast. That's just more so for her YouTube channels. But I still do work with her sometimes with broadcast and live stuff. From like a bunch of different tournaments. I worked with her with like do you remember when Energy Shock last year for Face It League Season 1 when they were doing like they did like 2 co-streams of their games, of their Face It games for playoffs, and I was the observer for like one of them or 2 of them or some of them at least. That was all her. Like she's like elevated my career like greatly. A lot of the Overwatch League observers or XL observers and now doing OWCS are super helpful and like very open to the community. Like literally, they don't think of themselves as like celebrities, but they kind of are. And yeah, they're all super helpful and super great and very reliable, and also very receptive towards wanting to be like helpful. So Chantal, OBS Sojourn, my goat, my mentor, and my boss. She's helped a lot. She's helped a lot for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like, I mean, especially in the leagues where a lot of us are right now, like CGL, BPL, Kitsune, even a little bit of Kunoichi, SPCS. Like there is, like you said, a lot of people there who are just wanting to help out everyone who in production, just try to do the best that they can. I mean, I know Knock has talked about it where they have their Stream Deck like presets saved somewhere so that you could download them, so like everything's there for every map. Like that's always one thing that has really surprised me with like the grassroots and community like esports productions. Like everyone just wants to help.
Yeah, because for sure.
In other things, like I'll say, like I can relate to with like growing up playing like basketball and throwing discus. Like if there were people who were good at it, they did not necessarily want to help other people get good at or improve their own game because they wanted to stay ahead of everyone else. But I mean, it's always one thing we talk about here. The people that we do these productions with are by far some of the best people that I've ever met.
Yeah, that's true. Like Overwatch and like grassroots, everyone's like kind of working together to try to get better. Now it feels a little less, but that might be because personally I haven't been able to interact with people that are like new to broadcast or stuff. I don't think there's a lot of people that want to get into broadcasting as much. Maybe casting, but specifically prod. I think the newest person I've met was, other than like helping some random people be like, oh, where do I go to like start? And it's like, oh, just go to BPL and they'll set you up. I think the most recent new person I met that was like, kind of like not new to prod, but maybe specifically Overwatch was when I was doing Timeless Broadcast Project. And I was managing that. That was a lot of me meeting new people because it was like we have to run a range of like 2 to 5, maybe 6 broadcasts a day, for like all these different teams. All these teams, like they all have different like looks to them. They all different branding, different fonts, etc. All on Solomon GG package, which is like super easy. But we wanted to give teams a specific unique look and like just super complicated. And I think the newest person I met from that was probably reached that. But prior to that, she had worked Valorant, and I think she'd worked some other Overwatch stuff, but I just wasn't sure, or I didn't know of their Overwatch experience. But now she's like a mainstay, I feel, in Kitsune League and BPL and Overwatch. Because I work with her a good amount of times, a lot. I work with her a lot now, especially with Deadlock Fight Night and Rivals Fight Night going on. I worked with her for the past 2 Rivals Fight Night and some Deadlock stuff. So yeah, she's I've worked with her a lot. She's probably the newest person I met that was interested in broadcasting. But yeah, grassroots stuff is very much like everyone kind of wants to improve. Everyone kind of wants to be better. Some people are like just here just to do it, or just here because they like want to do it but don't want to like make it a job or improve on it. But there are some people I've known, especially like the big names, that are like, I really want to improve, I really want to get better, and they definitely like for sure have. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it at least like the first couple episodes where we were talking and people, when we would bring people on and just talk about them, like their experiences working with people and how much fun that really was. And you say, you know, reached at, and was it, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think I'm going to get it wrong. It was Reach and Orange who were at the Funhaver land.
Yeah,
right?
it was Reach, Orange, THZ, and Low2. They were all 4 of those were at the fun. First, it was gonna be just T and Reach, and then it was T, Reach, and Low2. I did not know Orange was going until like after the event happened, and I was like, oh wait, Orange was there too. That's cool.
Like it's great to see like them actually get opportunities like that, because we've said it before. Those are some of the most talented people that we work with. Even if they like to do the dumbest shit sometimes.
Yeah.
During it, we've talked about it at nauseum before, but I'll always go back to Orange just staring at the chair during the middle of the fight, just because it was out of place.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's always fun. They're a fun group. They're a good group to be around for sure. But whenever they need to like lock in, they'll lock in and focus up. Especially with Rivals Fight Night, it's like very like. It's refreshing to see them lock in a good amount of times, but it's always fun to have them around whenever it's like the goofy stuff like CGL stuff or Kitsune League or BPL, etc.
Yeah, and I mean, you bring up Rivals Fight Night and Deadlock Fight Night. Those were two, like, Deadlock was a game that was hyped up a lot, but I feel like because I didn't necessarily stick around with it a lot, like, I feel like the popularity's kind of died down. But every time I see Deadlock Fight Night going on, it still is pulling in insane numbers, which is just me basically saying like, okay, I just completely backed out and didn't follow it, but it's still going strong. And Rivals, everyone knows how big Marvel Rivals is at the moment, so it's not a big surprise that you have a large viewing audience of it. But like, I mean, getting into those new games, and this is something where we've talked about before with me, Hunter, and Mega, it's like you want to get into them because they're new, they're exciting, and you want to be there to see it grow. But like, what is it from the prod side where it's like you have to try to figure out everything very quickly? I imagine there's some kind of like crossover with it, but like, what's been your like most difficult thing about learning new games?
So for learning new games, most of it is just the micro and how like the fights or like how the game plays out. So like, I don't do a lot of League stuff. Sometimes I do League, but like I grasp the concept of League with like team fighting and stuff and like objectives and stuff. And that just transfers over to Deadlock, and Overwatch obviously transfers over to Marvel Rivals. The thing I mostly look for is how bad the observing is or the custom lobbies are, because Marvel Rivals blows, and Deadlock didn't have one for a while. Marvel Rivals is terrible. You can't have team spec. You can't pause. The camera speed, whenever you try to change your camera speed, it gives a little pop-up on the screen that says you're changing your camera speed, which is really annoying. But the only thing cool with that is that you can go back in time and like do cool replay shots with Marvel Rivals, kind of similar to League and like CS, whereas Overwatch you can't. But the beginning of a new game is kind of the most like honeymoon-esque because you're still trying to figure out everything. So like for Deadlock Fight Night, like I had to try to figure out. Well, Solomon was tasked with trying to show a good way of showing items on the screen, because that's the big problem with Deadlock is everyone buys individual items, but there's no good way of showing that. as like a spectator. You have to like show menus, and you have to hover over characters, would give like a huge text or a huge box over everything. And it's not very like good visually. So we pulled up good old Google Sheets, linked all the logos and icons for items, names, what tier they were, so tier 3 or tier 4, and then we would live check what people had, and then put that data into like the sheet and display it. So like would be like, okay, these guys have tier 3 items like this, like siphon bullets or rebirth or whatever item, etc. Or magic carpet, and these guys have this item. And that's the big thing about Deadlock with keeping your viewership and not losing it to people going into the actual in-game spectating, because they want to see what people are building. They want to see why they're building it. They want to see when they're building these items, how they're getting these items, if they're farming, if they're focusing lanes, if they're going to camps, where they're positioned, etc. Like, they can already see where they're positioned. They can already see like people going to camp specifically, but those items is like the big thing that determines who wins in fights in Deadlock. And having a good way of showing that was like by far the most important thing. Since then, it's been redundant because Deadlock has added a feature where you can see recently bought items, and we just call it shopping, which is where our second observer would just open up the buy menu and we would crop out just specifically like the recent items column and like overlay that as like a pip. But yeah, that was the big thing for Deadlock. From our rivals, it's just getting the workflow well for replays, because if you don't catch something, you can always just go back in time and catch it in replays, as well as like the cinematic shots. And we only have 3 observers. Preferably, we want a 4th observer. This way you can have 2 POVs, 1 free cam, and 1 replay observer. But our free cam observer, Orange, has been mostly our replay observer at the same time, trying to catch like clips we missed or cinematic shots to use as like B-roll footage, like kind of how CGL has those stills. Cinematic shots for those B-roll footage going into break and coming back. So it's definitely a lot of like figuring out how, like, why people would click off of a stream and trying to figure out how you can keep them on your stream.
Yeah, and going back to the B-roll thing, I love those on CGL, and I've watched like Hippy go through the process of like, okay, we need to get this clip so we can use it, or we need to just go back to this point so we can get it for B-roll. Yeah. Like I'll always remember it, I think Hunter involves you. The GOATS tournament this past run around. Hunter was like 1 kill away from getting an ace, and Joker took his final kill. But
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh my god!
Hippy said, "Okay, we need to clip that. We need to clip this moment right now so you can go back." But Hunter at the same time was yelling death threats to Joker.
Oh my god! I mean, I get it.
There was redemption that I forget. The next day, the same scenario happened. We got a 5K bomb. Diva got demeched. And I'm like, please let me get it. And everyone just stayed where they're at and let me kill the baby. But we got the clip at the end of the day. So that was some nice little redemption.
It works out.
It works out. Mega, I think I found the clip taken out of context. It's Hunter saying, "And I killed the baby."
I killed the baby. You can quote me on that. I'm sure the clip exists somewhere.
Somebody run the GIF of the Flash putting the baby in the microwave.
That's crazy.
Oh man.
I'm gonna see if it still exists in Joker's archives. I bet it
probably not. It might, but my feeling is he probably doesn't have it set up to where everything just automatically stays.
He has a lot of stuff still.
Okay, maybe.
But I don't know if he has that.
Was he streaming that night, or did I just come in and watch in Discord?
He was streaming.
Well, he was 100% streaming because he's got a new punter clip, so he 100% was streaming.
I don't like. Apparently, I was on Noob Hunter. I don't know what the fuck that is.
See, I was technically on Noob Hunter, except it was under the name Joker's Ransom.
It's like the clip channel. Like they got they grab all the clips that have Overwatch, and then they're like, "Oh my god,
Yeah, like what Fresh Nuts once was.
I don't know who that is either.
You don't know Fresh Nuts?
You don't remember Fresh Nuts?
I've told you this, guys. I've told you guys
crazy.
this before. I never watched any of the big Overwatch content creators.
Okay, well, calling him a content creator is crazy.
Clip farmers.
He wasn't Clip Farmer. Yeah, he was. He's like, you know who Noob Hunter, right?
No.
Oh my god.
That's what we're establishing.
I just established that.
Oh
I've never heard of a Noob Hunter was.
I'm not real.
No,
yeah,
that's Mega.
Just big Clip Farmer. Oh well.
What the? What?
Do you want the? I can give you the clip really quick.
Yeah, fine. Give us the clip and I'll I'll play it so that everyone can see what we're
Have
doing.
you guys? Have you guys had THC on yet?
No, we have not had T.
No.
T is definitely one. Like there's a list of people I want to get on. T is definitely one of them. But like I want to try to balance it out between like, observer. Yeah. Like we had user intel on last week, and he's an editor, and I loved that he came on. He was a really it's a very small part of esports production, editing and doing what he does, but it's a very, very underappreciated part as well. Having him come on was just really fun. Hunter,
yeah, for sure.
Hunter, I'm seeing the face you're making. Have you found the clip?
I had to find it in a very found it. No.
Nice.
No,
user.
I will note. I'm giving you specifically because I'm not able to find the clip through Joker's thing, so I'm giving you the Noob Hunter video, and I'm gonna give you the what's it called?
Cool. I'll be able to. I'll finally be able to look up who the hell Noob Hunter is.
Okay, so that's Noob Hunter, and it starts at like. We'll just watch a Noob Hunter video on stream. That's the way to do it.
What the fuck? Why was the first out I got was just want to try Ozempic?
What?
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you've got all the context available to you now.
So make this a little bit smaller.
Yeah, you're about there. Yeah.
Oh, I have.
That's 0 sound, sir. I don't know if I.
Wait, big crowd.
The sound makes it better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the sound, you'll actually hear my comms and it'll be amazing.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you're watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, you'll hear it.
Yeah.
The good part isn't even in there. That's depressing.
At audio listeners,
yeah,
you will not see the context. You will only hear.
You'll only hear it, but
you'll only hear it.
Yeah, no, Hunter, they cut out the best part of you absolutely threatening to kill Joker.
I'm sorry, this must be found. Now, how dare they leave out the best part?
That's true. How dare they?
I found it.
Oh my god.
I found the actual
It's funny that you say user intel because he lives like 10 minutes away from me.
Lives in the same fucking city. Like Philadelphia was. I made this joke before, not on this podcast, but Philadelphia is a fucking hotbed for old Trank people.
Yeah, old Trank people was crazy. I just turned 21 this year.
Oh, okay. Oh, my back.
Here's the entire.
I'm sorry.
Wait, is there a way I can make that I can allow you guys to hear this?
You have the prod guy here.
Yeah. So like he's playing.
Bro,
no, wait, I know what I can do.
Do you have Discord sharing application audio? You do. What you do is you go to advanced audio properties for your audio mixer, and you click the media source, and you put it to monitor and output.
Wait, where the hell do I go?
There you go. Okay, your audio mixer. Go to right click on it and press advanced audio properties. And then you can, it's going to be like monitor off or whatever. You can change it to be monitor output, like monitor and output or something like that.
I can't remember. I'm just going to make it a little bit easier. I'm just going to share the screen, share the screen with
screen of the clip.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That is entirely fair.
That's fair. I just nerded out for no reason.
No, you're fine. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with you nerding out over that. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
good.
ooh.
You guys
Almost
have
like you're proving that you know what you're doing with fraud.
Yeah, you guys
You
have to
see it.
remind me to change it back though after this.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
is the
so here-
you can just try to think from classic. All right.
Yeah, that's my photo list. Is I have to still do that for what's it called?
They beat.
Like,
Clip it, chat. Somebody clip it.
Joker,
No,
you
fuck
Guys, we need to fucking cancel.
Oh my god.
You're such a fucking rat. You're such.
I think you peaked
That's
your
so
mic there
cool.
that entire time.
I think a lot of peaking was happening.
There's a lot of peeking going on in that.
Mm-hmm.
All
Or
right.
Mr. Dex, can you change it
Remember
back?
to change it back. I mean, we could just watch some Smitty as well. That's entertaining.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mentioned T because me, T, Hippy, and Will all worked on a LAN in Chicago a month ago exactly to this day, like 3-4 weeks ago. Not to this day. It was the 28th of April, pretty much, or the 27th is when I landed. So 28th, 1st, and the 2nd. Not April, February.
I was gonna say February.
Yeah,
You're prodding things in the future here.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I got a gig working in DreamHack Dallas.
Nice.
In May, which I'm very excited for, very hyped about. Because it's like it's more esports engine stuff, and I really want to do esports engine. I want to work there full time, which is what I'm applying for, and I'm literally eyeing my emails and waiting for a response. But what's it called? Yeah, I work with them in Chicago, and it was a good show. It was very somewhat. It was decently hectic. A lot of different things happening, but overall, very positive experience, especially with what's it called? Like not really having a good tech day. That's the one thing they don't prepare you for. LANs, you need tech days. Like you need full blown tech days where you are double checking everything, triple checking everything, doing a practice run of everything, like getting everything set up, like getting everything like properly broken down, saving things like 4 times, having things on like backup drives, having things on USB sticks. So much stuff going on with so many things I can break too. Oh my god, there were things breaking nonstop, but I never really had a bad day at that LAN. Overall, really good. So yeah, you should definitely get T. T also knows a lot of stuff about like Call of Duty broadcasting as well as Valorant, more than I know, and he's the GOAT. He's my GOAT.
Yeah, T's definitely one that because we've worked with. I believe all of us have probably worked with T at one point in the past. Like definitely would reach out to, and I wouldn't feel like. A little bit nervous because if I've never reached out to someone before and asking them to come on, it's like I hope you remember who I am.
Yeah, I get that. No, yeah, I get that for sure. Sometimes I do that with Drexel Esports stuff where it's like, hey, I want to stream your game. By the way, I'm the streaming director for Drexel Esports. Instead of it being just like, hey, I want to stream your game. Okay, who are you? who? Why?
Who are you?
Actually, most people remember me, which is good.
You talk about Drexel. That was actually one thing I wanted to kind of touch on here a little bit, because it's always fun to talk to people who are. You're still in college, right?
Yeah. I graduate next year.
Nice.
Wow.
But it's always fun to talk to people who are still in college who play esports in college because you're on the team at Drexel, right?
So I'm taking a quarter break from playing. But like I'm still like around, and I'm still like in the Drexel Esports like Overwatch space. So yeah.
But you're also part of the prod team there as well, right?
Yeah. I'm the streaming director and like the head there, yeah.
Yeah. And like I want to talk about that a little bit here because like there are a lot of good college programs out there. And Drexel, I would say, Drexel still, it's a club, right? It's not recognized as an official team.
It's a club. It's not recognized. So we have it as club sports and athletics. And athletics is like the whole big like, scholarships and money and etc. And clubs is just like no scholarships, but you still kind of have to make money and pay for stuff. So and we give you some money, but not like a lot of money, as depending on admissions and whatnot. But yeah, not like the big thing where like we're not like Maryville or like varsity programs like that. We're club sports.
Yeah. And like, I'll say this for being a club, and what I was gonna really get at was there are fully funded teams that are like recognized by the school as a team who try to do productions, who try to have like a broadcast, but they really struggle at it. And then there's a lot of great clubs that are out there. They have whole on production teams. They have all this stuff there, and they're doing really, really great work. And I look at Drexel because, one, you brought me in to do Valorant, which I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking sorry about those two Valorant.
That's all. I just needed someone. I need someone, anyone. You were down, and I was like, fuck it, we ball. Today, sorry if I can't curse on here.
I've already cursed like several times. You're fine.
All right, cool. Yeah. Just want to double check. Fuck it, we ball. Today I'm doing Valorant, and I don't have any casters, so either I'm going to solo cast and just do everything, or I'm just going to be muted and it's just going to be an observer feed. I'm probably just gonna cast and like talk over what I have. Just try to give some funny commentary. But no, yeah. Drexel's for sure. Drexel's so funny. I love Drexel so much. Sorry, go ahead. Continue asking your question.
No, you're fine. Talk about Drexel. Like that's what I wanted you to do here.
So Drexel's given me the opportunity. So I'm a film student at Drexel. I started as a mechanical engineer, swapped to communications, then swapped to film. And Drexel's given me a lot of resources in terms of letting me kind of do whatever I want and experiment. Specifically Drexel Esports. The Drexel film department has also because we're allowed to take out any equipment we want for any reason, whether it be class, whether it be outside of class. So I've been taking out equipment for Drexel Esports stuff a lot. If you remember Run It Back Philly, or not Run It Back Philly, but Run It Back recently in October, and you saw Light Rose on camera, that was me having a camera operator, and I was taking control of when I was getting Light Rose and my cam op ready. I was there at the venue. Our charity stream stuff, so we have a charity stream literally happening not next weekend, or not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after, the 5th, 6th. That's all, I'm not gonna say all me, but the broadcast. The event stuff is planned by someone else, and the broadcast stuff is planned by me and ran by me. Sometimes I have assistants and helpers like Skylar. I had sometimes, etc. Some other LAN stuff going on. That's most of the time. A lot of the time, me. For broadcast, literally anything that goes in the Drexel University esports Twitch is because I said yes, go ahead, stream it on, or hey, I need you to stream this, or hey, we are streaming this and I am working on it. So they've given me a lot of freedom, and I've been able to experiment a bunch with how stuff looks visually, with how stuff runs in the background. If I need a really complex show, or I need Sheets.io and Google Sheets, and I need vMix, I need replays, I need this and that and everything, or if I can just have everything in OBS and I'm just manually updating logos, which I'm going to be doing tonight for Valorant because I don't have the really good time to double check and set up everything, and it's just going to work out. And I have a very basic package for that I really like right now. But what's it called? Because of that so much freedom I've been given, I've been able to learn connections, how do I get these physical cameras that want to be SDI. How do I get them into my computer that doesn't have SDI ports? Or how do I get them into my computer that only has one HDMI port? Oh, well, maybe I need to use this capture card, get that in. I need to use the specific converter that the film program has for me, or not has for me, but has in general. And just learning those connections both for visual and audio has been really good and very helpful for me at a LAN setting. That Chicago LAN I talked about, my film experience has helped out with that. I pivoted from 1 cam operator to 2 so we could get more of a LAN experience going and it'd be more fun for people at the venue as opposed to just you have replays, let's show replays. No, I don't care about replays. I want people that are there to come back so that they could be, so that I could come back as well, because if they're coming back and paying for slots and paying for tickets, or if the sponsors are hey, we had 200 people come to our booth, and then next time they'll definitely come back, then that's another 200 people for the next time. It means I could come back as well. So as well as oh, I want to cut off this PTZ or this pan tilt zoom camera because it doesn't look good. Because in my film experience and in my visual experience with film, this camera looks too grainy, or the iris is too wide, or the exposure is like too high, or the ISO or whatever. So it's giving me a lot of like technical know-how with how to use cameras and what makes a shot look good. And now that I know that information, it's helped me a lot with my technical directing and like Overwatch, where like I'll like I already have good observers. Like Orange is really good at free cam, but sometimes I'll tell people like, hey, I need you to be a tighter shot. Like I need a tighter shot for this story, or look out for like I'll just use Stalker as an example. Look out for Stalker. He's looking for this play, whatever. I want to build up the Stalker storyline of this series because he's doing really well already. Let's pivot the MVP pick towards him for the casters, etc. And so yeah, stuff like that, where like film like helped me with the visual storytelling aspects, where I can't control the audio. I can only control how the frame looks, and it really got me thinking about like how do I like tell a story when I can only do that.
Yeah, and before we get too far away from it, and we're gonna touch back to the storytelling part of it. Are you gonna be doing anything with the charity event? Are you gonna be torturing yourself?
Yes, it is a 24-hour charity event. I'm gonna be the main producer / technical director for it. I will be awake for most of those hours, and I will be dying. I might also do challenges. That's where the lettuce sticker comes from the first charity stream. For people that don't know, I'll also drop it in here. This sticker is when we had a donation goal of me eating a whole head of lettuce. And my friends were worried that I was going to get sick from it, even though lettuce is like 90% water and not at all something that will cause a sickness. I love this fucking server. I love this sticker so much. That's from the Drexel Overwatch server. It's a good sticker. It's an awesome sticker. And then Skylar was there too. No, Skylar was there remote. And he put the lower third up there of Sean eats a whole head of lettuce as if we couldn't see. So good. I love the charity stream so much.
I mean, hey, I always had a blast when I did it back for Trank. Almost died, but it was still fun.
You did.
Never do a shot of peppermint extract. That's all I gotta say.
I'm not planning on it at all.
What's your idea for what you're gonna do this year? Because I will pay for you to do it.
Me personally, it's another eating challenge probably. Let me see if I can find the sheet and leak it. Leak the goal. Why not? I think there was an idea for like. Okay, someone had an idea. Actually, I don't know if I'm doing an eating challenge anymore.
Oh no.
Because we were gonna do an eating challenge, and I was not there when this was proposed, but it was gonna be something like Sean eats like this horrific item, and I'm like, guys, I'm running the show. I can't like die. So maybe we'll pivot to like I eat like 8 apples or something. I don't know. We'll see.
How about speaking of dying?
I'm picking ideas.
How about speaking of dying? Dye your hair.
Oh, I mean, I could. I've dyed my hair before. Like, I mean, this is my natural hair. It's been like 7th grade.
Oh,
damn. Oh my god, it's been 8 years since I dyed my hair. Ooh.
I've never dyed my hair. I've sprayed it before.
Really?
I've colored it with like those like not markers, but like like hair crayons or whatever.
Yeah, I have dyed my hair before.
Yeah, like I think I'm in like the last 2 years. If I want to do something with my hair, like I have to do it now. My dad, my dad is the person who cuts my hair. Basically, just said, talking to me about when we're gonna cut my hair again. He said, "Hey, the hair, your hair is thinning on top of your head." I was like, "Great, thanks." I made it 8 years longer than him and my brother, but it happens.
Hey, that works. I luckily have good hair genes from my parents.
I don't.
It's okay. It's okay. I pray that I keep my hair genes and I it's nice and big.
I am praying for you. I hope.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
My saving grace is I wear hats a lot, so normally I should be able just to kind of cover it up. But getting back to the last thing kind of talked about there with you're talking about trying to create a story and you're trying to create storylines, and I know like I know in that situation you're really hoping that whoever's casting it picks it up as well as like, hey, you're trying to create this, and that's definitely been something that I've been trying to improve on with casting is like keeping a little bit of a story going, especially in basically every league that I cast for. It's not like, okay, we're following the same team every week, so we know what the story is. You're trying to create one right there. And I know Hunter and Mega will attest to this as well. It's like, it's probably the most difficult thing to do, but it is when you're able to land it and hit a story just right, it feels incredible.
It's so amazing. The most recent I've noticed it was Rivals Fight Night, where like, or Deadlock Fight Night, specifically Rivals Fight Night. This example where, like, I caught some action, I played a replay, and Puckett just like picked it up instantly. Jake picks it up instantly. Anytime I show them something, they just pick it up and run with it, and it's so perfect. And I freak out, and then Solomon's like, "Yeah, man, they're graded. They're graded. They're goated. They're amazing." And he also freaks out with me. They're graded. New term. Coined here today.
What's the abbreviation stand for?
Graded. We'll circle back on that.
Yeah, if you know what graded stands for, put it in the chat or put it in the replies.
Comment on it now. But
it's nothing. But hey,
it's so satisfying, and that's like the hard part is building that story. It's like it's hard to notice it, and it's hard to like because you don't have these like if you're on camera, you can't really look at Discord or you can't look at the messaging, and like it's already hard to commentate and also listen to like what people are talking about in your ear. So we can't, and also the replay guy doesn't communicate to the casters. So like, whatever. And we can kind of cheat around that with Rivals Fight Night, where like whenever we're on break, we can just like shoot a text message or whatever, or a Discord message, and be like, hey, I'm gonna show this replay next, and they can pick up off of that. But whenever they do it like just naturally, it's so insane. Being able to build that story is like the hard part, but it's like it enhances a broadcast so much. If that's like the one thing, if there's anything that anyone needs to work on in any role in broadcasting, it is story building. Like storytelling is like how you get people coming back and watching. If they watch a hype match, like OWCS week 1 for NA, like when we had Team Liquid versus Space Station, and that match went to like map 5 and it was super hype and PGE freaked out, like I'm pretty sure like 90% of the people that watched that match kept watching. They kept watching OWCS, not because they are already into Overwatch esports, but because that match was really hype. And that's like what happens with like any esport. Whenever there's like a storyline of like a lower bracket team making a run, with like the Spark in Overwatch League Season 6 making a run, or like a no-name team in CS or Valorant, or like a weak team in Valorant, or like even like in League, like yeah, we talk about T1 being like super popular and like Faker being the GOAT in any esport, but like they go into Worlds being like the 4th seed and make these dramatic runs, or like Lost Rotonas like not being in any sort of like league like franchise or like tier 1 league esports, but like everything underneath. Like they break records like easily. They just broke a record for like this one channel, or like specifically EMEA, with getting like 470k viewers, and like that's a good story right there. That's a good story. Like stories get people to watch, and that's the important part with broadcasting. If people are watching, you can sell ad slots. So work on your storytelling skills, work on being flexible and picking up storytelling, and like as soon as you're thrown something, just run with it. Like that is the most important thing you can do in any role in broadcasting. That's like the one thing everyone should be working on forever, like always.
Yeah.
I love that you say that, because like one of the main things I do, like if you've casted with me in the last 2-3 years, like even on the level of casting that I'm doing, like I am always looking for a story. Like it's so like not infuriating, but it's just disappointing, because generally speaking, like nobody else is even attempting, especially at this level, to try to build a narrative or a story of any kind in most matches. And so it kind of just ends up, not being able to go all the way. But those matches where you can build a story, you can actually like have something going on. Like you said, it enhances the viewing experience, because it makes it just that much more entertaining. You could turn stomps into amazing stories if the story is there for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much entertainment value to be added, and like you said, when people are naturally able to pick up off that and just sort of go, it's great. But like, generally in my mind, when I think of like casters I want to work with or like prop people I want to work with, it's people who can help me tell a story. That is immediately, you are my favorite if you can do that.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah. Whenever like, there's definitely people I like working with, and like they can get me what I need or whatever, but they're also like vibers and whatnot. And I feel like in grassroots right now, it's a lot of vibing, which isn't bad per se, but it's not like it's not always great whenever like you want to step up your game. But like for those big games like playoffs, like grand finals, like people are relatively locked in or focused. With Cassie or sorry CB, who also goes to my school. I did her. I didn't get her into casting, but because I got to Drexel and I was like, hey, I'm gonna stream games. She was like, I need the caster. She was like, I've always wanted to cast. So I like did her first few games, or she casted for the first few games. Then I sent her to Trank and BPL, and then from after that, it was like all on her own. Like her ability to like she didn't have. It's hard to stand out, especially in grassroots. And the thing that made her stand out the most was that probably the iPad at the beginning, like because she was showing her iPad and showing that she was using an iPad as well as like taking notes actively. I feel like helped her formulate sentences and casting like very easily, or not very easily, but like a lot easier. And people naturally like got drawn to that, as well as like older-esque humor, being very likable on camera, as well as not being camera shy like at all. Doing a lot of like facial gestures and hand gestures, like they all kind of fit. And also because she knows a lot about the game. She knows a lot about Overwatch because she was GM. And kind of that's that whole thing of like focusing on telling a story, but also focusing on making yourself really likable is like really important for casters, I feel. Because people like you, people want to see you more, people are starting to like follow you on Twitter, people are starting to see your streams, people are starting to see when you cast. Like if you get someone to tune in specifically because you yourself are casting, like that's another number to the viewer count. That's another like person you can sell a slot to, like for ad stuff, and that's more like it's not gonna really do much in grassroots, but for like the big leagues, like that's like super important.
Yeah, and especially with CB, and like you talked about there, she blew up. It was almost like an overnight blow up, and that is something, and in esports that doesn't happen a lot. And honestly, like she has gotten so better with everything. I will say the meowing thing might be the weirdest thing that she's done, but you know what?
That's my go. That's my go. You can't disrespect.
No, but I'll say this. It worked. It's a little, like I said, it's a little weird, but man, does it work. It works so well.
It does. It fits with her style, and also like I think she does that mostly towards like Call Hero stuff, so it like fits in that like she's not gonna go on like a CS2 broadcast and tell chat to meow. She's not gonna do that because obviously she knows like when and where to do these types of things. And also just like kind of happened naturally, like where like Echo came up, recipes. And like she just like did it. But yeah, no, she blew up. I think we all freaked out in the Drexel server whenever she like got the first offer to work dive party. Like that was like the first big step where everyone was like, holy shit. Like this is real. This is real. Like even at that point, like when I had like tier 2 experience, or I was about to start getting more tier 2 experience because I'd worked contenders B-sides, I worked contenders A-sides a little bit, and also with the Will English Invitationals, and stuff like that. But even then, like when I saw that she did that party, or she got offered, I was like, whoa, this is like real. Like this is good. I will say I was a bit jealous, obviously, but I was very proud, and still am very proud, because she's come a long way. And no, yeah, super awesome to see her do really well. And now she's like growing her own socials. She's doing well with like Twitch. Twitter is always Twitter. And so yeah, hoping that she keeps succeeding because boy, do I know she needs it.
Yeah, absolutely here. But I mean, we've hit that kind of hour mark here. We'll do one last topic here, and we'll call it.
I mean, I'm relatively free for the next half hour because it won't take me long to set up my thing at 9.
Yeah,
so.
I know, but like I don't want to go the extra half hour here and have it be a very, very long episode. One quick topic is really all we need here. I mean, normally the first couple episodes we had our person slander, but I don't know how much you've worked with person. So how about instead of person?
Okay.
How about we slander Hippy?
Oh, that's a good one actually. That's a good pivot. I like that a lot. Hippy. Oh my god, that man cannot capitalize or grammar for anything. Oh my god, reading his rule books back in Peaches were horrific. If you know Hippy, he will randomly capitalize the first letter of a word in the middle of a sentence for no reason, or he'll also like type a random period or just some random grammar stuff in everything he types. He's gotten a lot better at it. But I flamed him a lot for that. Next thing.
Hunter,
wait.
Hunter, what'd you find?
No, I started going through Hippy's Hippy Mind DMs, and I see it now.
Yes. It's real. I'm like shaking my desk because of it. No, it's real. If you go through any Hippy messages, like it's there. It exists. What's next? He's like relatively laid back, which isn't bad, but there's sometimes where he'll be like try to ask a question, and I'll answer the question, and then he'll ask it kind of the same thing again. Maybe that's a hard way of explaining it. Well, I feel like I'll answer the question, and then he'll go something like "I see" or like "Okay," and I'm like, "Can I get some feedback, man? Can I get something?" What else? What else for Hippy Slander? He knows I make fun of this about him a lot, but it's like kind of chill. He'll do this thing where he'll it's like a natural like response of his where he'll have his shirt like he'll bite on the collar of his shirt like that, and it gets very profound later in the day, because it gets darker. What else for Hippy Slander?
No, can I?
I don't know.
I'll say this. I'll say this.
Go ahead.
Like the first time I met Hippy, and I met you at the same exact time.
Pretty much, yeah.
The dude's fucking taller than I expected him to be. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, I don't know why I expected him to be shorter than 6 foot, but for some reason I did. No, the dude's like fucking what, 6'2", 6'3"?
I think he's 6'2". He's the shortest in his like IRL friend group. Like everyone in his friend group is taller than him, 6'3", 6'5". Which is super weird.
The tall people just gravitate towards each other, man.
I think, actually, it's a bit personal. I'm not gonna say that. No, yeah, everyone in his life is relatively tall. No one's short. That's a. You're not wrong, Megalass. You're not wrong at all.
Oh my god, how fucking big is this photo?
I don't know. I whipped it up as quick as I could. I saved it off of a website. I'd like it. Listen, I had to get in there quickly.
No, that's a good photo. That's a good photo. Thank you for whipping that up. That's good. The caption for it was me when I get the chance. Yeah, no, that's right. Hippy Slander's real, and what's it called? I for sure bet if he had the chance, he could have something to say about me. Same thing with like Knock.
Well, too late. Both those have been on the those two have been on the podcast, and they both let the opportunity slide.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Doesn't mean they'll be on again, but
that's true. Hey, I mean, no regrets.
Yeah.
But Hippy Slander is real. That's all you need to know.
But it's so funny. Like one thing I love about Hippy is he'll be able to explain something to you, and it'll be very, very detailed. And then during a broadcast, he'll do the same thing, but it'll be like 5 words instead.
Yeah.
He will shorten it down.
he does this thing too, where like you'll ask a question, he'll pause for a while, and then he'll answer, which is chill. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it's relatively annoying if like you're at a LAN and he pauses for a bit, and it's like, Skylar, I need to know this information like now. But it's not because he doesn't have the information. It's just because he's like thinking about it and like double checking everything in his head. So like he's making sure.
Fucking love that.
But I need the info now. I need to know. But there are the times where like he needs to know stuff from me. Oh, I love that gif of Skylar. Oh my god.
I fucking love that gif so much.
It's such a good gif.
No, and when we had him on the podcast, he fucking started to actually control the camera, and I thought it led to one of the funniest moments on this podcast.
Yeah, we feed each other. We like bounce off each other so much in terms of like equipment and like adapting and experimenting a lot, because we both were like, hey, what if we do this? Sure, why not? Just do it. Hey Skylar, what if I do this? Okay, awesome, let's try it. He'll ask me, Sean, what about this? What do you think about this? Hey, I think it looks good, or hey, it looks terrible. Do this, do that, change it this way, and then we'll be golden. And so we've gone really into this like really good, like, even though we don't like, working together now is a lot less of an occurrence than in the past. That was the worst way I could have worded that. Oh my god. We don't work together as much as we used to, like with grassroots stuff. But whenever we do, we're pretty gelled and pretty good. And we know how each other works and like how like reliable the other is towards like, hey, can you do this show? Yeah, this show is in like my wheelhouse or whatever. And like we both like proven ourselves to one another. So Hippy's a good guy. Yeah, but Hippy Slander is real.
It is real, and there needs to be more of it. But you're talking about working in grassroots, the good old days of real shit prod.
Oh my god, real shit prod was good. That still exists.
It still
real
exists.
Shit prod still exists.
It's still I know.
It was good when it started though.
I know Hippy still uses like real shit prod in some way. I think it's like one of his.
It's the name of his SRT servers.
Yeah, it's the name of all his SRT servers. I don't think they're real shit prod, but it's RSP.
Yeah.
Which is
love Hippy.
So funny.
That's him.
But that will do it. I think that's a good point to kind of wrap it off. I mean, almost 10 minutes of Hippy slander. We could do an entire episode if we got enough. Hell, if we got in every producer into an episode here, we could have a full-on hour.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe that's a special episode.
Yeah, let me make my 25 bucks.
The special episode, the roast of Hippy.
The roast, that'd actually be pretty good. I'd like that.
Could we actually do it? We've been trying to do a roast of Headrammer in the CGL server now for a year and a half.
Okay, but here's the thing. We haven't actually been trying because everyone's like, oh, that'd be fun, but then nobody plans it. I think, genuinely speaking, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just plan it for a breakdown episode at the end of the season.
I think the closest.
I'll be glad to help out with that.
Yeah, I think the closest we got was actually when everyone was talking about going to Stockholm originally. We were like, hey, we'll do it from the house in Stockholm. We'll do it there. We'll be in person.
We'll do it live.
We'll get to see body reactions as well. But then it was just like, as we got closer and closer to it, like, yeah, there's not going to be that many people there. So let's just kind of not do it.
Dallas would have definitely been a better place for it. Because we had a lot of people at that house. Lot of people.
Hey, but
I think we had
power
like 10,
was out
11.
I think 11.
Oh my god,
then the power was out. Here, I'll end it on this. Stockholm was the funniest fucking trip for one reason only. Unfeatured fucking flew on the same plane as me, and we didn't fucking know until we landed in fucking Sweden.
It was funny because I was a few rows in front of him and to the opposite side of the plane. So I get up, I stand up, like we land, whatever. It was like a 7-hour flight, 6-hour flight. It wasn't that bad. It was out of New Jersey. Ugh.
Newark.
Newark. Even. Oh wait, no. Newark is in.
No, it's in New Jersey. It's in New Jersey.
It's in Jersey. Okay, yeah. Still. The international terminal at Newark, terrible. Like fucking horrific. Awful. They have no good food options. It's bad.
Yeah.
But we land. I stand up. I look around. Bam! Immediately spot not Headrammer. Sorry. Immediately spot. That would have been horrifying. Immediately spot Dex. Immediately spot Dex. I forget what outfit you were wearing, off the top of my head, but I think it was I spotted you because of your hat. I don't remember what it was.
I think I was
Your outfit
wearing.
was
I was wearing a hockey jersey, wasn't I?
Your outfit was very Dex. It was very on brand. It was very on brand for you, like incredibly on brand, and people will get that. And then I think I give you a nod, or like you don't. I think you don't realize,
No.
or like you look up and you finally, or you do realize. I don't remember from your perspective.
My perspective is I see you. I was like, is that fucking Unfeatured? I'm like, there's no fucking way that's him. And then you start looking at me like you know me. It's like, holy fuck, that might actually be him.
That might actually be him. And then we both do the nod thing, and then we laugh about it. Yeah, no, that was a funny trip, and then the train didn't work.
Train didn't work. Took an Uber.
Took an Uber. It was snowing. That was actually great. We saw the train like derailed too. That was rough.
Yeah.
Stockholm was it was a lot of fun, and then we spent that nice day out in the snow. That was a good day.
Yeah.
I saw the photos from it too.
Same. Oh, wait, no, you actually had like a camera.
Yeah, I did have a camera. I worked with Nightmare too to get them photos. And I sent some of Rack Attack photos to Rack and Rack Mama Rack, and Rack family. But yeah, like if you, I'll pull it up and I'll send it to you guys. Because I don't want to extend this show really.
Yeah,
but
no.
when we were at Stockholm, one of the photos that I used was on the Nightmare Twitter, which is really cool, which is awesome. I really like that. But yeah.
But yeah. So let's try to end this episode now for the second or third time, whatever number it is. But again, thank you everyone for watching this episode of For the Love of Prod. As always, Hunter, Mega, thank you guys so much for joining me again this week. And Unfeatured, thank you for being the first person to say yes this week, man. It was a blast to have you on, and I think it fits as you being the person to be our 10th guest for really one of the people that inspired this entire thing years ago.
That's pretty funny. No, it's awesome. I loved every second of it. It was really fun. I love being able to yap about my stuff. And if anyone needs to ever take anything away, just remember, focus on building storylines, please. Oh my god, please focus on building storylines. Oh my god, if you like that first mental switch of like, wait, if I build a storyline, everything's good. Oh my god, that's like real. That's a real thing that exists. I promise.
So funny thing, I can tell. I think your computer's telling you to stop because your camera's getting blurry as hell.
My god.
Yeah, we're getting close to having a Midwestern goodbye.
Yeah.
Here.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can watch us both on YouTube and Spotify at For the Love of Prod. Tune in next week when, as always, no idea who will be, but it will be another great episode, y'all. Until then, have a good week, night, whatever. I wish I could sign off.
That works.
Yeah.